Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to a Kooky Corner of YouTube. Today I thought I'd take you through a little tour of this sketchbook that I've recently finished. Well, I say recently, I mean about 2 months ago, because I have still been working on what I'm going to show you in here. When I start in the morning, sometimes when I come into my studio, you know that feeling where you just want to get something made but you're not sure what you want to do? Well, I go to my sketchbook and I just literally make a very small collage. That's all I do. It's kind of like a 10-minute to 15-minute thing. I just play around with a small piece of work just to get my creative juices flowing, and so that's what this is. And I have another one as well that I've started. It's a little bit bigger than this, but it's going to be the same principle. Anyway, let's have a little look through. So let me just show you the it's a pink pig book. It's made in Britain or made in the UK, and it is beautifully covered with this mulberry paper, which is why I love them so much. They're really not cheap but inexpensive, and a great little base for what I'm going to show you. So some of these I have done videos of. I do remember going back when last year, probably maybe just a bit before, when I used to do a little bit of morning meditation, and that's what I call it. It's like a meditational piece of collage. That sounds ridiculous, but it's kind of, I clear my mind. I've got bits all over my desk of things that I've been making, and I tend to use the bits that I've got left in order to make the collages. So let's have a little look. Is that the first one? I do believe it is. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'll lay down some watercolour or some gouache base, and then I'll go in with some collage, and then I'll come back in with pencils. Sometimes, as you can see in the background here, I start off with a scribble. So I'll just get one of my darkest pencils and just do a scribble in the background, and that gives me a basis to work on. I think there may be a video of this one back in my list of videos. But yeah, so it's kind of, I tend to go landscapey. I don't know what it is. When I come to doing these, I tend to see landscapes and everything. I think when you get mountains, it's like trees and mountains, is basically where my mind goes when I see these collages. So then we've got like a moonlit collage here. It's got some sparkly, if you can see that shining there. I do like to put a bit of sparkle, as you know. If you are a regular here at Kooky Towers, you'll know that sparkle is inevitable. But yeah, it's just kind of, when you get into the creative state, this is what kind of opens your brain. It's kind of one of those things, if you can just get something down, then that releases you in order to think about other things. And while I'm creating these, I'm thinking about all the other things that I have in my plans to make, and the ideas come, basically. And I get ideas from these little collages as well. So that's another one that's like a moonlit scene there over the mountain. So this one was like a sunny day. This one is a mooncast day. Got a plant. So got my little traditional scribble in the back there. Watercolour, mark making, collage. That's basically the way I go. Whatever I've got on my desk is what tends to end up in these pieces. This was like circles and mark making and obviously glittery bits. But it doesn't have to be anything. I mean, some of these end up looking like landscapes, but they really don't have to be anything at all. They're just like a little outpouring of creativity that gets you in the mindset of making. And that's why they're small. If I had a big piece that I was doing, I would get lost in it. Whereas these are achievable. I can do them in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I've got a little piece done, and that is a tick. I've done something. So here we've got my scribbly background. Then I've gone in with some watercolours. I think I might have gone in with these guys, which are my Anna Linkies. Love these. These are just so good to grab hold of. I have got some really, really good watercolours that I have, and I do use them, but these are the ones I gravitate towards for these little pieces. Unless I've got my other ones out on the desk, and then I'll use those as well. But yeah, lots of tiny mark making. Pens, I'll use like gel pens and things to add little marks in. And it's a good way for discovering in your doodle process what you actually have as your symbols. Say that in inverted commas, because when we doodle, we always have things that we are drawn to and go back to. It's like your mind is a blank, but when you're doodling, it's like when you're sitting with a pen and just doodling and somebody's talking, if you're in a meeting or something. This is what I used to do. I used to doodle on the side of a page. And you'll find that there are certain things that you're drawn back to. For me, it's like lines and dots and circles and stars. Those are all my things. These are the things I doodle. And they tend to end up somewhere in my collages. So little dots, little lines. I use that in my artwork as well, generally. So it's something that gravitates, or I gravitate towards. This one's more organic looking. I've got my initial scribble. If you can see those little lines going down. Oops, knocking the camera, sorry. Initial scribble, and we've got leaves. Kind of autumnal. Probably was in the autumn when I did this one. Here's another one. Remnants that were on my core watercolours. I think I was using core watercolours for this one. And then I've gone back in with it's like a raised gold. It's this guy actually. It's something that I've decanted. It's a folk art one I've decanted into here, and it's got like a little nib on it, and I can just draw with it. And it leaves like a raised line. That's that one. Then we have a little bit more detailed. I've gone a bit mad with scribble in the middle of this one. I must have had an angry morning. I'm just gone crazy with the scribble in the background, and then tried to calm that scribble down with some colours that soothe the soul, or soothe my soul. You do what soothes you. And obviously I've got glitter. My desk always has some kind of glitter on it, so it ends up in here inevitably, as I say. Here's another one. We can see the scribble in the background, and what I've done is in this one is I've taken the spaces in the scribble and watercolour. That's a core watercolour for sure that I've used in there, and that is that gold that's on top of that one. Ooh, I must have been making something with my glitzy papers here, so I must have had a little snippet of that left, and that ended up in there as well. And again, working into the lines, so I've actually accentuated the lines in this piece and just painted into them. This one looks very woodlandy based. Yeah, again with core watercolours. I do love the core watercolours. They're very vibrant. We've got autumn begins with a single leaf. I don't know what these yellow splotches are yet, but they don't have to be anything, and that's the whole point. It's just, I don't know if you've ever done the Artist's Way morning pages. It's a little bit like that. I just dump something small onto a collage page. We've got an apple here. Definitely looks like an apple to me. Yeah, definitely an apple. Then we got a piece that I did. I must have had a little bit of cardi paper left over, so I've been practicing circles and spirals and what have you, and that's ended up in there. This, I love the colours of this. We've got my scribble to start with. These are not, I think these must be the Anna Linkies. maybe. Yeah. And then we've got some collage pieces on top again. This is quite nice. I like this. This is like a leftover piece of paper that I just spiraled into. I was probably cutting a circle and just decided, you know what, that leftover piece, I like that. I've got little mark making pieces here. I've still got my scribble in the background there. This is kind of like, okay, I've got some spare paper, so some spare paint on my desk. Let's slap it in the book and see what we can do with it. And I've done that, and I've got some gel pen work here with some, this is when I'm getting into fluorescence for sure. I've got some like fluorescent-y colours going around here, and also a bit of sparkle on there as well. Another similar one, this must have been around the same kind of time that I was creating it, but I just love that pink in the middle. It makes everything pop. This one looks like a mountain. So we've got, yeah, definitely got landscapey, mountainy vibes on that one. Now we've got a date on this one. This is 13th of February 2024. And this is when I was making my lino prints of the birds. Really enjoyed that. Did another one on that day as well. Just using up little bits, just testing it out, seeing what it looked like. Really like that. This one is like a purpley madness. And then I've gone in with some kind of, I'm trying to think what this is. I went in with, not sure. It could have been some white ink. I think it's this. I think it must have been this Kuretake white ink that I just went crazy with on the top of it. But then again, we got mark making in there, so we've got some just some little marks from a marker pen going on there. I've gone back to a landscape here. We've got a circle. That obviously is a remnant from something I was making. And then it's ended up in the collage, which is how it happens, really. We're back to mountains again. You can see where my mind veers, can't you? This is kind of like an alien landscape. Looks, because we've got my scribbly line in the back. Can't remember what I made that with. That must have been a gel pen. Here we've got something more reminiscent of a piece of abstract textile work, and I really like this piece, and I'd like to take it further. And sometimes you'll find that when you make something, you actually get an idea to take something a little bit further, and I really like this, so that might end up as something. Similarly with this one, just love the colours in this, and this is bits of paper that I had left over from a collage that were on my desk. Oh, looks like the Caribbean. It's kind of like a bit of a palm tree situation going on here, and this looks like a small boat, maybe, perhaps. I love circles. What can I say? I like the ever-decreasing circles that go on in these pieces as well. It's, I don't know, soothing to me. Something soothing about a circle. I don't know what that tells you about me, but I like circles. And here we are again. We've got, I don't think we've got much of a scribble. Yeah, we have got a scribble going on. So there's a small scribble in here, and I've worked into it again. That's maybe a good way to start sometimes. This one, obviously, I was into my lines, lots of lines, watercolour lines in the background. Coming back in with my circles again, and some mark making on top. This is scribble background, watercolour, and probably looks like a little bit of acrylic paint on there as well. And then a bit of collage on top, and we've made it into kind of like a florally leafy do for that one. It's just simply a flower. I think I just put some spare acrylic paint on here and then just thought, you know what, I want to make a flower, and so I did. Getting back into more of a textile-y mind, so I want to expand these into something. And I really like the colour play in here, and I love the Asamic writing on the bottom there. That kind of just adds a little bit of something. I must have liked it so much that the next day we did a little bit more of Asamic writing. And we're coming to the end now. That is just I think that's a swatch of some Sai watercolours I bought. And then we've got a friendly octopus right at the back. That's where I test all my pens out. So that's it for that one. Now, I have started a new one. And this is, if you see this one, it's kind of like the next size up, like an inch bigger all the way around. So let's have a look size-wise. This one is probably about 4 inch. I'll say that's 4 inch, just over. So probably, yeah, about 10.5 centimetres. This one actually is a 6 inch. Yeah, so it's an inch bigger all the way around maybe. So I've gone up in the world. I've got a bigger piece, but it doesn't mean to say that I've got bigger pieces inside. I have made a start in this one. It's Pink Pig one again. Love Pink Pig books. There's just something about them. Now this one I did way back when I was doing, I think I did a video on this particular owl. It was like a textile piece. That's a picture of the textile piece in question there. And I think underneath there I've got my template pieces, my owl that I keep in here. So I have started in this one. And then now it's become my little collage piece. Now you can see that would quite easily fit into there. So I'm still working small. And this was on some small cards that I have. They see if I can find them on my desk. Yep, let's see. These are the artist tile sets. I originally got these for doing Zentangle on, I do believe, because they're quite a nice size for that. But they've ended up being little collage pieces. So this has definitely got some kind of acrylic on the background then. Collaged into a bit of mark making. Again, I've gone quite dark with these. These are obviously like trying a colour palette. So the colour palette I'm using here is like a pink, a very dark blue. It probably looks black on the screen, but it's a very dark blue, and some neutrals in there as well. This one we've got a splash of orange into, and it says breathe. And I think, oh, there's another one after this one. Yeah, I really like that. So yeah, this is some kind, I think it's a gouache. It feels like an acrylic gouache maybe. And then that's the last one in there. And I think what I decided with this when I started doing these is that I wanted to be able to put on, if you see on this one, I've got like one per page because I didn't really want to go onto the backs of them because I wanted a clear page for each one. With this one, I thought if I used the artist tiles in conjunction with it, then I could put one on each page. That was the idea. And then if I want to go bigger, I can just go straight into the pages in the book. But I've got a fair bit left to go in this one. You can see I've got lots of empty pages. I've got something in the back here. I was working with pastels there for some reason, so that's straight into the book. So yes, this is a little show and tell of my sketchbook. And I'm going to be doing some more of these little pieces to go into this one. So keep yourself tuned in and we might do some together if you fancy having a little go at this. I'll be doing some like 10-minute videos where we just literally grab watercolours, a pencil and little bits of collage and make something, if you fancy that. Let me know down in the comments below if that's something that appeals to you, and then we'll work towards getting something like that out pretty soon so that we can have a little play together. Okay, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed having a little look from here. If you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to show me your thumbs. So the thumbs up for the like. Also, a little click from you means a happy dance from me. So if you subscribe to the channel, it's just one click. One click will get you access and let you know when I upload videos. Anyway, that's enough from me. Have a great day. Bye for now.